Okay, now, so for scenario six, as I mentioned, it's essentially a variation of what we just did in scenario five. So the big difference is that in scenario six, it's the same spreadsheets, but this time it's multiple spreadsheets, but they all have different sheet names. Okay, so it's again, it's just like we did before, right? So if I were to change the file names, right? Imagine if I had to, well, when you import them the first time, it's fine, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So here I'll take the spreadsheets here, okay, and I'm going to drag them in, okay. Now this time it's these ones because the sheet names are different. Okay, so we got different sheet names. I click go ahead and open select and go ahead and open it up and go ahead and do the same thing and go ahead and stack them all up. Okay, now so far so good. All right, so I'm gonna copy this name here and I'm just gonna rename it down here. And it's Microsoft Excel, multiple Excels, and we'll call it changing, changing or different sheet names. Okay, all right. Now, um, it would look the exact same way with the worksheet design. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to um, well, I'll just import them. I'll just import them since we're doing it. So same thing. So you go ahead and drag and drop one spreadsheet in here, and I'm going to click yes, and I'm going to capture it just like we did before. Add columns, define the headers. Okay, I hit accept, and now this time, what I can do is if I've got the option of these dynamic features, right? So I could say, hey, every use the first sheet, okay, and then I can make copies of this. So let's say I make 3 copies. So I can make 3 copies, okay, and then I'm going to rename each one. Oops, sorry, I meant to yeah, you could you've seen me double click on them. You could also click on the drop down and go here to rename. Okay, does the same thing. So I'm going to rename each one first. Okay, um, I'll just double click. It's a little faster. And then this one is going to be March. And then this one's going to be April. Oops. All right. All right, and then I have to change. Right now, they're all still looking at the same file, so now I have to change each file. So I would go to Edit File Path, and then I would say, okay, now look at the February file, and then now look at the March file. So it's a little faster than having to bring in each spreadsheet and capture each one using the worksheet design option. But it works just, it's just a little faster. And then this one um, plugs in the April. So if you notice, each one is automatically updating. It's not giving me an error saying, hey, the sheet name has changed, right? So, and then of course I can go ahead and stack them all up. All right, and let me copy this and I'll just rename this here. So this will be worksheet design. Worksheet design, multiple. Okay. All right. So again, this is how it works when you have multiple spreadsheets. It looks exactly the same. Worksheet design does give you some more features with the different accounting for the different sheet names. I will say for those customers that have the server product, okay, if you have the Monarch server or if you're interested in buying it, from the software vendor, um, you do not have to do this. Okay, all right. If you have a process where you're like, hey, you know what, I want to automate this, because I've got multiple Excel files and I want to automate it. That would look, just to show you what that would look like, it would look something like this, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put this in full screen. So it would look like this. So here is a scenario where I've got these multiple spreadsheets. They're all structured the same way. Um, Worksheet design is a little better. It's a little better. And I'm going to talk in when we wrap this up, we'll talk about the pros and cons. But let's say we use worksheet design for this. What you would do is you would set it up for one process. You would take one spreadsheet, you'd set it up in here like this. You would do all your stuff, all your work for that one spreadsheet, and then you would save your workspace and upload it to the Monarch server, and you would design a process. So this is what your visual process would look like, and then you can automate it. So every time you get the spreadsheets, Monarch server would pick it up and just automate it every day or every month or every week. Okay. So that's what it would look like again for those customers that have the server product. If you've got multiple spreadsheets and it's the same spreadsheet, you get it every day, every week. This is a very simplistic example of how you would automate that process. Okay. Again, and it's just taking one sample, designing the workspace, and then you automate it. Okay. All right. So that's we got one last scenario we're going to look at, which is scenario 7, and that is working with a spreadsheet that is structured as a report.